Okay, sorry about that slight delay. Welcome to, what is this? Is it a broadcast? Is it a podcast? Video? Live streaming with Careers Without Beers and Club Soda. For those of you who don't know, and this is great because we're going across 4 different organisations streams. Club Soda is a mindful drinking organisation for people who want to change their relationship with alcohol, whether to stop, pause, reconsider, or become more mindful in how they use alcohol. And Careers Without Beers is kind of the gay arm that will have Laura, one of our founders, in stitches. She likes the idea of a gay arm. We're the gay arm of Club Soda. And pre-pandemic, we would do monthly socials in Manchester, London, and Bristol, where lots of people came together who just wanted to enjoy socializing in a safe career environment, sober. Since the pandemic, we've gone online, and part of what we did online was finding a range of exciting products to do, and that's where Danielle from Binary Botanicals jumped on board with this idea for making some modern, iconic cocktails. And this is kind of part 2 of that, where we are sharing what we've made with the makers. So first, I would like to introduce Mel, who's from 12 Below, which is a fabulous tonic. Mel.
Hi everyone, I'm Mel from 12 Below. We are the manufacturers of delicious tonic waters. We launched the range having I was unwell and wanted to look for something that was less sugar and certainly less alcohol. I started to drink tonic waters on their own and became horrified at how much sugar was on the back of the bottle, and thought I wouldn't sit here drinking lots of Coca-Cola in the evening, so why am I drinking sort of between 7 and 10 grams of sugar in my tonic water? So to set about wanting to produce a tonic water that was genuinely low sugar, absolutely delicious, without any artificial sweetness. So we researched some lovely flavours. We actually started with the flavours of the fruits that I grow in my garden, which you can see behind. We've got rhubarb, which we've mixed with ginger. We have apple, which we have with a delicious freshly picked garden mint. And we have pear and cardamom. So those are the 3 flavours we developed, and we chose organic agave as our sugar, which is a delicious sugar which doesn't taint the flavours of the drink and allows the natural flavours of the tonic waters to come through. They're quite light, which makes them perfect for mixing with non-alcoholic beverages as well, so make beautiful mocktails, and I really hope that you enjoy them this evening.
Thank you, Mel. Thanks, and then we have Danielle from Binary Botanicals. Danielle.
So, yeah, Binary Botanicals. So I suppose the things I'm passionate about are sustainability, moderation, and food. I love a good bit of food. So, and I think that's where Binary comes in, because I love food and I love beer, but I would never enjoy having beer with food, and would always end up switching to something else. So I thought, what if we could really develop a beer that goes well with food, not bitter, quite tangy. And the secret ingredient is that we use the hop leaf, which is normally a waste product. So it's a more sustainable approach and gives it a completely different flavor profile. So you can see when people try Binary for the first time, they go, what is this? And then they pick up the label and look at it. Is this a beer? Is it a wine? What exactly is it? And so it's very nice to have it on its own, and also it's great to drink, mix into drinks for cocktails, which is why with mixing it with 12 Below, we thought it was absolutely delicious. So yeah, I think it makes a delicious non-alcoholic cocktail.
Thank you. And we've got Kate, who's marketing from 12 Below. Don't panic, I'm not going to ask you to say anything unless you want to. Okay. And then we have Alex, who's the Sober Sommelier, which I think is one of the best names I've come across in this area. And it's absolute genius. It says exactly what it does on the tin. On the tin. Sorry.
On a tin of alcohol-free beer. Hello, I'm Alex, the Sober Sommelier. I've been sober now over 4 years. I used to work in the drinks and hospitality industry as a Michelin star mixologist. When I decided to quit the booze. I couldn't, was on a mission really to find the best no and low alcohol drinks, and found the category I was wanting. So I decided to set up an Instagram feed, really just to champion the movement, the rooftops about how exciting and how important this category and this movement is. And for me, it's very much a movement, sharing wonderful non-alcoholic drinks, showing that there are sophisticated grown-up drinks in this space. There are incredible founders, incredible brands, and this is really it's really a gateway to wellness. It's a pathway to wellness by moderating drinks. It doesn't have to be completely putting the booze. For some people, for me it was. For others, it can just be not drinking in the week. But now there are grown-up drinks you can pair with food, you can have on a night out, and it's a very exciting space. So for me, I used to be a sommelier, I used to be a mixologist in the alcohol space, and now I'm taking that into the non-alcoholic space. So it's great to be here, great to share these products, which I love. And Kate's been working with me, helping me kind of launch the Sober Sommelier brand platform, which is kind of slowly coming to fruition this year and next. So it's very exciting. So thanks for having me, and we'll have some fun making some drinks in a sec.
I love that expression, gateway to wellness. I think it's so cool. I think I might have to write that down.
It's trademark.
Trademark.
But feel free to shout it to everybody, because it really is. And the thing is, what people don't realize is that, I think where smoking is now is where alcohol will be in about 20 years' time. I'm looking to, my hashtag I put everywhere is break the booze spell, or equal rights for non-drinkers. I want to walk into a bar or a restaurant, 5 years from now even, and the choice is 50-50. And I think there will possibly come a time when alcohol is hidden when you go into a supermarket, and, it's not, so I think, attitudes are changing, and it's a very positive, exciting time, in this space. So yeah, I'm happy to be here.
There's definitely a podcast there to be had. The discussion, it's very much similar ethos to Queers That Beers and Club Soda as well. So bring it back to Queers That Beers. Pride, really important event for the queer community, and very uncertain this year, cancelled last year. Hopefully London Pride's going ahead in September this year. But we thought it'd be nice if we couldn't get out there, we could have some sober drinks that were created especially for Pride. So we put a question out to our membership in our Facebook group and on our meetup groups to say, which queer icons would you like to celebrate? And we really encouraged people to look really wide. So we're very much out of the the typical ones that pop up like Madonna or Cher, or let's go wider and people that really mean something. Not that Cher and Madonna don't mean anything, but they have a bit more weight, a bit more gravitas, a bit more of a message. And so we had a nice list of 12. We proposed those 12 to Danielle, and a mixologist, and they brought it down to 9. And then we had a fabulous online event where we made 4 of them live. Total chaos, sticky messes everywhere, great fun, lovely drinks. And so today we're going to play with 3 that we didn't get a chance to make a couple of weeks back. And we're challenging Alex to see if he can make them a bit stronger, tangier, a bit softer, so various versions of. And the first one we're going to make, Alex, is going to be...
The first one we're going to make is Elton's Rocket, I believe.
Brilliant. Elton John brought an apple orchard. He loves his own apple juice. But apart from that, and being an amazing musician, he has given many millions of pounds to HIV charities. He's done lots and lots of work with developing nations, with children with HIV. And a lot of the work he's done has been done without acknowledgement. It's been done quietly, subtly. So we thought it'd be great to celebrate that work there. So let's explore Elton's Rocket.
Okie dokie. So it says, you can make it in your glass. So if you've got your glass, go ahead and put some ice in it. I'm going to make it in one of these, which is allows me to make it and to show people at home how to make it. So we're going to start by filling your glass with... No, actually, don't put any ice in yet. Hold on. Grab some mint if you've got some mint. Steady. So I'm getting a bit overexcited there. Okay, and we're going to muddle the mint. If you haven't got a muddling stick, you can use a spoon or whatever. But the first thing you want to do with the mint is you want to spank the mint. So if you spank it, then that just brings out the aroma. So you can just see it just releases it. It's a real kind of mixologist trick there. And so into your glass, I'm using.
That's the first time I've heard the word spank before.
Spank,
Again, I feel that one.
Okay. And so what? Now you won't have this, but I, in my challenge to make it a bit more, slightly add a bit more kind of zest and zing. What I've got here is a non-alcoholic rum, or for that rum moment, which is Kate knows. It's called, I think it's called. Is it Fluair? How's it pronounced? Fluair. So and Kate knows them, and they're lovely people, and they make fantastic drinks. So I'm actually, for mine, I'm going to like soak the mint with the Fluair, which I think is really cool, and that just adds a bit more complexity and some spice sugary flavors, and that rum-esque kind of flavor. So we've got that. So, and then one little extra bit, which I thought was a nice little, is I'm actually going to take just some actual little bits of apple in my, it's actually a lime squeeze, but it's working for apple. So here, in this way, I'm actually going to squeeze in some, so it's pressé, so that's fresh apple pressé. So that's giving it, that sense of actual real fresh flavor, fresh juice, straight from the garden or from the orchard. So that's my little twist.
We don't have something quite so posh. Could we just chop up some apple and muddle it?
Yeah, chop up a little bit of apple and schmuzzle it in there. Absolutely, that's great. So I'm just muddling the mint now, okay? And then I'm going to add some ice. So you want to get some ice into the glass. And then we take our binary, we're going to start with our 12 below. It's the garden and mint, correct? Apple garden, is it 12 below apple and garden and mint? So we're going to take some of that, and we're going to take, it's 100 ml, so 2 large measures. So you can do it by hand or, so in she goes. I'll move this out here so you can see what's going on. So there's 100 ml of that in there, of the 12 below, and then we've got the binary, this beautiful botanical beer, and I'm checking my crib sheet here, 125 mils in here, so that's 50, it's 100, and then 25. So
I'm biased, but this is my favorite cocktail combo.
Yeah, what I love about it is it's just really refreshing, very elegant. It just it's such like a summer cooler.
And I think if you miss a mojito, this is a really good option.
Yeah. So give it a stir, and then you guys have already got it in your glass, so I'm just going to pop it into my glass. Oh, look at that! That's fantastic. So the colour is stunning, and then I'm going to garnish with a lovely sprig of mint, and here's one I prepared earlier, a lovely slither of apple just to give it that, there we go. So it's a really nice shape, the mint looks lovely.
You make it look so effortless. That
looks and just for a bit of posh from your local, this is a really nice silver straw because we are sustainable and ethical, no plastic straws here. I've got my silver straw and we say chin chin, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, wow. That's lovely. What I like about it is it kind of starts off with that little sweetness and then it finishes quite dry at the back of the palate.
Yeah.
So it's not, you're not going to, you could have it with food, but you could have it as an aperitif, a summer cooler, drink it as you might, just a mojito or a Pimm's, but it's really got that lovely dry finish, which I think, and which is really lovely on the palate, and it means you won't gulp it. A drink like that, you'll sip, and so when you're at a garden party or an event or even at supper, you can sip it. So yeah, it's really. So
I didn't know that. So if it's sweet and stuff, you're more tending to sort of chuck it down.
The thing is, the sweet drinks, well, if you're like me and you've got a sweet tooth, you'll just, it's gone. So this I will sip because it's got that dry finish, but it's a very refreshing, really refreshing, and I love the mint with the apple. It's jolly nice, I would say. And the binary goes well with it. I think what I like about, you know, using hops and using botanicals in a kind of, it's not really a beer moment. It is a beer moment, but it's more of a wine moment in some respects because of the way it can balance with food. But here, this is an aperitif or a cocktail moment. So, yeah.
I love it.
And one of the things that our members talk a lot, or a question that's asked a lot, is we want to get away from the sugar, or I'm craving sugar now that I stopped drinking, and to have drinks like this that you do want to drink slowly. And personally, I love that I'm having a drink with a tonic in it, but I'm tasting the tonic, I'm not tasting the sugar, and I'm still getting the hop flavor coming through underneath, which is it's a really adult flavor.
It really, and actually that's a really good point, is the sugar. The fact that 12 Below, you know, is coming in as a really kind of low sugar tonic. You know, it works, you know, going back to the gateway to wellness, it works in that as well. You know, you can have 2 or 3 of these. You know, you think in the days when when certainly when I was drinking wine or champagne, you know, 3 or 4 of these in an evening, and the calories just can't, you know, it's as we know, it's a lot harder to get rid of calories than put them on. So when you've got something like that, I've got my lockdown girth on here. So, anyway, but yeah, it's really elegant and it's sophisticated. And actually, I poured it by accident. You know, this is live TV or digital podcast or whatever we're doing, and this and I actually put it into a wine glass. And I do love wine glasses, and it's, you know, wine glass for a kind of. I put my beer, my non-alcoholic beer, in a wine glass. I put everything in a wine glass, really, because I just love the shape. You get the nose, the bouquet, and it's just and also these I've just recently bought these, and they're really thin at the top, which I love, because it just, I don't know what it is, but glassware to me, you know, is so important. A good glass can make an average drink good. So I would always the tip for anyone making average drinks is get some fantastic glasses.
In my previous life, we went to a Psalm glass workshop, and they had the same drink. We didn't know at the time, same drink, just served in all these different glasses, and we had to sort of rate our favorite drink, which is all really embarrassing because it's all the same drink. But honestly, they tasted so different in the different glasses. I think it makes it psychologically makes a big difference how you pick up the glass, how you put it to your lips, how you smell it.
Yeah, it's one of our sober hacks that we talk about is make it special. No matter what you're drinking, make it special. And one of those is a nice glass, a special glass, a nice straw, you know, a bit of an aroma coming out from a fresh squeeze of lemon or lime or something, that make it special. And the glass is really important.
And garnish, taking the time out to actually go to your, you know, your herb wall garden, not wall garden, what are they called? When if you're in a flat and you put it, it's on your, you know, I can't think of the name. But anyway, herb box. Thank you. I had a brain freeze there, but yeah, or your garden if you're in the countryside like me. But you know, the thing is, it's nice to be able to grab those. What I love, it's like basil, you know, basil in drinks. Rosemary, you know, sage. Just grab any kitchen cupboard cocktails. I mean, I think there's a real kind of, at the moment, it seems to be very fashionable for people to make these incredibly complicated cocktails, and I think it can turn people off in terms of those at home trying to make them, because it's like, I haven't got 4 days. I can't go to Tibet and get that lama's, you know, special tea leaf, or I can't stew these you know, strands of saffron for a week. I just want to be able to go bang bang. Let's get home. I'm home from a busy day, and I want to make a really delicious drink. So I think the more we can make kitchen cupboard cocktails, you know, of course. I mean, for this one, I did actually make the rhubarb syrup. So, but for the next one, but I think it's good that it's accessible for people, because you can make delicious drinks easily and quickly, and people shouldn't be turned off by making them. So,
I agree.
So, a quick question for Mel, going to unusual flavors. First time I had the sage in a drink, it was like, wow, this really works. And then I had a recipe for cardamom biscuits, which really surprised me because it really worked. How did you come across the idea of pairing pear and cardamom together?
A bit of trial and error, I suppose, but we just thought that pear is really sweet, and it needs something to complement it, and to perhaps draw back a bit of that sweetness. So cardamom just seemed because it's kind of perfumed, so it just works really, really well, and it adds a dryness to the drink and sort of cuts through the sweetness of the pear. So a bit of experiment to begin with, but it just was definitely, in fact, that was probably the first flavour combination that we decided on that just worked really, really well, and it's a lovely, elegant combination. And we actually, as I say, it's the one we didn't mess with, sort of having sort of got there, and we was like, right, yeah, that's definitely the one. You're on mute.
Oh, you're on mute.
Josh.
So professional. For anyone that was sharp-eyed, that have seen Alex having a quick peek at our cocktail recipe book, which is in the rainbow box that we put together with Wise Bartender. So if any of you out there would like to try making these drinks, they're available. It's the rainbow cocktail box at the Wise Bartender. Comes with everything you need, plus the recipe book, which has the ingredients listed in it. And all you need to do is buy yourself some ice, some nice glasses, and the garnishes. Where are we going to go next, Alex? What's our next one?
Is it Gentleman Jack? Would you like to tell us about that?
Jack? Fabulous.
Are you going to tell us a bit about the story?
I will tell you a bit. Gentleman Jack, otherwise known as Anne Lister, is probably the first modern-day lesbian that we know about. She came from a semi-privileged, upper-middle-class background, but she was able to live like a man because she had the authority. She was the eldest in the family, and she dressed as a man, behaved like a man, challenged a man on why he should be superior to her just because they had different genitals. And she was super, super clever. She was also a bit of a seductress, and she had many, many, many female lovers, and she kept these journals. And she kept these journals in a encrypted way, which no one had the actual key to her code. And finally, when they were decoded, they were so scandalous that they actually thought the decoder had been egging things up a bit, egging the pudding, exaggerating. And so someone else had to go back and decode it to prove they were actually what they said. And so when they were first published, they were very heavily edited, and the really salacious bits were taken out. But yeah, Anne Lister, female farmer, coal miner, behaved as a man, lived as a man, had lots of female lovers, and no one really challenged her on it. She got away with it, which is amazing considering this was all going on in the very early Victorian period, just after the Napoleonic War, in fact.
Super. Right, we ready? So, fresh glass, and we're going to pop some ice into the glass.
This time.
Pardon?
Ice in first this time.
Ice in first this time, yep. And so this one, we're making it using binary, obviously, and the 12 Below rhubarb ginger mixer. And rhubarb and ginger, I think, is a great flavour profile, great combination. So we do actually grow here at Foxhole Farm. We do actually grow rhubarb, and we've got a forcer and everything, but there was none at home. So I went and grabbed some and managed to make up some rhubarb syrup. So here is the rhubarb syrup, which I'm very proud of. And so that's going in. So that's going to add some more complexity and really emphasize the rhubarb. Let's see what it tastes like.
Is that an easy thing to make at home, Alex?
So yes, it is. So it's I think it's, hold on, it actually says it here. Hold on, 1 part chopped rhubarb, 1 part sugar, 2 parts water, boil for 20 minutes and strain, chill before use. It was actually really easy. I got my wife to do it.
Okay.
The cat, she did help me. I was like, help, I'm on soon.
Disappointingly, I have loads of rhubarb, and didn't get a chance to make my rhubarb syrup. So I'm really cross. I really wanted to do it.
For you. And hats off to my wife Catherine for helping.
Yeah.
She wants credit to her. Now, what I have got, I was going to juice some fresh ginger just to give it the zing. But I see elsewhere in the wonderful book, which I think is fantastic, the Rainbow Box, and it's so great to get people, you know, actually doing stuff and getting them out of their comfort zone and making cocktails. I think it's really great because it's fun. You know, this is the ceremony, this is the fun, this is the involvement, the engagement. So I would have made some fresh ginger, but I actually had some Gimba, which is one of the other cocktails, which is is one of my favorite alcohol-free kind of plant-based spirits. So it's Brazilian ginger kind of syrup, but it's fantastic. It makes a mean Moscow Mule. It makes a mean mojito. Even just with soda water, it's fantastic. I love it. I mean, there's quite a bit of sugar in it, but hey, it can't all be perfect. You know, it's balanced out. The guilt is balanced out by the 12 Below. So, so I'm going to put some Gimba in there. I just like love that already. That's like so good. So let's give that a little bit of a stir. You can imagine, you can pretend that you put your Gimba in there. Okay, and then
I'm jealous because I actually have some downstairs and I could have got it. I didn't think.
Okay. You said I was going to surprise you and do some things. So anyway, so now I'm going to take our 12 Below rhubarb and ginger, and I'm going to put 100 ml. So you guys, so it's 250 ml. So 100 ml in there. That's lovely.
And I think, Alex, as well, like what you're saying is, you know, you can have the quick weekday cocktail, but if you've got people coming, make the syrup for like 20 minutes on the stove. Actually, then it becomes like a real.
And it's just like, you know, who are you? You know, Hugh.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's just like, all right, calm down. No, but the thing is also, what I find is actually out on the terrace, if you set up a bar like this, if you actually go, right, I've got my sparkling wines, my binary. I've got everything laid out, and the bit in it. I've just got. This is a birthday present for my stepdaughter. It's not a hat, you know, anti-COVID hat. It's actually a wonderful ice dish, ice champagne, you know, bucket. Anyway, but if you literally put that down on a table, fill it with ice, and whack all your favorite drinks in there. Some people are just dazzled. They're like, "What's going on here?" You know, it's really that simple because to create the sense of ceremony. I've also got this one here. This is just for the old, oops, bang the gong. Okay, now let's go back to the drink of the binary. This is live after all. Okay, so we're going to put 125 of the old, hold on, yeah, 125 again. I did read this before. So that's 50, 100. And also, you know, it's really to get these little like jiggers and cocktail bits and pieces. Well, most kitchen shops have them now, so there's no excuse. There's no excuse. If I come into someone's house, where's your jigger? And they look at me, I'm like, there's no excuse. So now that's in there, and you've got your nice little stirring spoon. And so garnish for this one, we're going with a nice little slice of lemon in there. Just and what I would tend to do as well is just squeeze like the zest just around, like just pinch the zest around the rim just to give it that. And then we've got some rhubarb here, which there's a little. It's going to go up your nose, isn't it? I'll probably pop it in there. So anyway, cheers, everybody.
Gosh, that looks so good. Mine is a little bit more simplistic.
There we go. Oh, that's amazing. Wow. That's incredible. Yeah, really lovely. It really does make a difference with the rhubarb, and adding that little bit of rhubarb and ginger just gives it a kick. Once again, you've got that little bit of sweetness, obviously because of the rhubarb. But it's just a lovely drink, isn't it? I mean, that is just, you could drink that all day long. Summer's day, by the pool.
Yeah. And I imagine you could turn it, if you wanted to, then with the ginger into more of a wintry drink.
Well,
bringing up some of all those sort of spicy notes.
Absolutely. I'd probably put a cinnamon stick in, just put a cinnamon stick in. I mean, you could even warm it up potentially, I don't know. I just as a I'd like to try it. Certainly I will try and just warm it up as a kind of a bit like mulled cider. It could be a mulled binary, mulled gentleman Jack. There you go. So I'll give that a go and put some maybe star anise in there, some cinnamon stick, and yeah, I mean that's brilliant. Fresh ginger, very nice.
We have a winter warmer blog on our website with quite a few listed. So maybe we should be adding this one in. Try it out, Alex, and then send us the menu and add it in. Be great.
Yeah.
I'm on the simple one. It's just basic. It's literally just 12 below and the binary, and it's also lovely. And I'm just amazed how easily the rhubarb flavor actually comes through, and that's just from the tonic. It's really, really impressive. It's a nice drink.
Yeah, I think that's what I mean. I've been impressed by both these liquids in terms of binary with the actual concept. It's really, really innovative and unusual. Not unusual, but actually to come up with a concept, I mean, actually hops, you know, and then go with the botanicals. I think the sparkling wine that Wildlife Botanicals are doing a similar thing with sparkling wine. I really like what they do and they're putting the botanicals in there. But what I like about the 12 Below as well is the fact that, you know, they're interesting. You know, it's not just, oh, elderflower tonic, this tonic, that. It's like mixing more than one flavor. You know, I think it is really good. And if the flavors come through, which they do, then it really adds something to your drink. So yeah, it's exciting in terms of those flavor profiles, definitely. And I think, you know, there's definitely scope for more flavor profiles, definitely.
Especially coming into summer, where the standard go-to is sort of these heavy syrupy Pimm's and other likes. To have something that's, again, it's fresh, it's summery. You don't want to gulp it down. It goes nice in a glass with lots and lots of ice and interesting flavors. Really,
all we need is a summer. That would be great. When that sun finally arrives, I think we're all going to go mad, aren't we?
It kind of feels like summer here today.
The next couple of days, hang on to it.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so are we on to our next one?
We're on to our last one, which is
Elliot Page.
Elliot Page's cocktail.
Yeah.
Elliot Page, Canadian actor.
Yeah.
Quite extraordinary. If you think about it, most queer people, they generally come out once. And what Elliot Page had to do was come out when she already had a successful career, which is a real risk for both male and female actors to out themselves. In the past, you could make yourself unemployable. And she came out as queer and didn't really affect her career, which is amazing. So she dealt with that stress. And then she came out as trans as well. And having come out once, and that can be quite tough, but to do it twice, it's quite a statement and something to live through. And especially with trans currently being such a hot political topic, and there's quite a lot of negativity focused at it. She was really worried. He was really worried that he was going to, again, make himself other, make himself unemployed. And in the first interview he gave after coming out as trans and after having started the surgery, he said that he was expecting to get a lot of hate and he was expecting to get a lot of support. And that's exactly what he got. But works kept rolling in, which is fantastic. And the incredible, I think he got 40,000 more followers in one day after coming out as trans, which is quite fantastic. And he's now doing what lots of other minority actors are doing, in that he's creating his own work. He's gone into producing, he's gone into commissioning, as well as into acting. And the Umbrella Academy, if you haven't seen it,
I love it.
Rather good on Netflix. He came out as trans, and in less than 24 hours, Netflix got in touch and said, we have changed your name on season 1 and 2 to Elliot Page. So they changed his gender immediately. That in itself, I think, is quite extraordinary. And they went straight into shooting season 3. So I think that's a wonderful place to be for trans people in this current atmosphere where there's a lot of negativity towards it. So yeah, there we go. So let's try the drink.
Thank you, Josh. That's brilliant. That's a great, really is an inspirational story. So thank you. Right, just going to grab some more ice from my little ice container down here. Slightly melting in the studio here. Okay, so I didn't actually get a how-to. Is this one in the actual book or not? No. Okay. So
we had to cut it down, and so this was one of the 12 below tonics that we didn't end up including in the final box, but we loved the cocktail so much. And Elliot Page was also one of our final icons that didn't quite make the final box. So that's how it happened.
Excellent.
We also had a Virginia Woolf that we haven't made, which is kind of Sober Virgin Mary.
Yes.
We've had Oscar Carnation. We had one for a Binary Bikini Bliss, which is based on Megan Rapinoe's revolutionary campaign, and one inspired by Billy Porter, and then we had one inspired by Lana Wachowski, who's one of the Wachowski sisters. They both transitioned, who were responsible for the Matrix trilogy, and the fourth one's on its way apparently. Anyway, enough about that.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to do what we did before with the. I'm going to pop. So if you've got any pear, you can mush it. But I'm just going to try and squeeze a bit of pear juice in there, fresh. That's not working very well. Anyway, it's a nod to. If I had some fresh pear juice, I would make some fresh pear juice in my juicer. So I have put a little bit of pear juice in there, which is good. And I've also got This is a really beautiful homemade elderflower and ginger syrup. So I just thought, just to add a little bit of kick, and I found it in my local farm shop, and it looked absolutely beautiful. So I'm just going to put a little bit in there, just why not? And then I'm going to get some tonic, which is the pear and cardamom, which is a really unusual. Yeah. So talk us through that combination again. In terms of the Danielle, the pear and the cardamom, where I think you meant
Mel, I think.
Sorry, Mel. Danielle, talk us through the binary. Sorry, sorry, my bad, Mel.
Yeah, so the pear is just a really delicious sweet flavour, but then the cardamom just really cuts through with a little bit of dryness and has a sort of a floral note to it.
It's got a lovely aroma.
Yeah, it's really fragrant, and it stops it from being overly sweet, but they complement each other really well.
Well, thank you.
Probably the wrong thing to say, but it smells exactly like pear drops used to when I was a kid.
It is reminiscent of pear drops. Yeah.
And this is when I say to Mel, talk me through the botanicals and the binary. But I mean, do you want to, Danielle? Do you want to tell us quickly just about how the botanicals quickly?
So I think the hop leaves give it quite a distinctive, almost herbal flavor, as though you're having tea. So you're getting a lot of sort of notes of pepper and rosemary and stuff like that. Which is why, Alex, when you were talking about just grabbing fresh herbs from the garden, I completely agree, because when you have a botanical drink, you can really just pick up thyme, rosemary, basil, all those sorts of things that make it really interesting. And it is quite dry, so it's sugar-free as well. So I think the combination of the 12 below and the binary, you've got a gateway to wellness.
I'm excited. Gateway to yumminess. I'm excited to try this. But what I thought I'd go, as it's the last drink, and I thought I'd go a little bit mad, and I'd get some raspberry in there just for some color.
That's so nice.
So I just thought, you know what? Why not? Let's see. Look at that. Just to add a bit. It was a bit like the advert that we were set. I thought that was really clever with the raspberries in there. Add a bit of colour, and then why not a little bit of pear in there as well? It's like a fruit salad. So,
it's one of your 5 a day. There you are.
Yeah, exactly. You beat me to it. I'll just come to that. And then look, I even did a little top of a pear just for the garnish. So I put my magic straw in, give it a whirl. So. As we said before, it was 100 ml of 12 below, cardamom and got it here, pear and cardamom, and then 125 ml of the binary. I put in some fresh pear juice, a bit of the elderflower and ginger, fresh pear, raspberries, and bingo. So there's.
Good. I've copied you with my pear top on the side of the cocktail.
There we go. To Elliot Page.
Elliot Page, cheers.
Cheers.
I might get rid of that.
I think that's my favourite.
Oh,
it's really nice.
Mm.
I mean, nice is the wrong word. It's delicious.
That's
Nice is not right.
The pear and the hops really hook into each other. They really.
That's a very well balanced.
Compliment.
It's very well balanced, and I would recommend if you can get a little bit of elderflower and ginger. It doesn't. It's not overkill, but it just once again it just gives it a bit more width on the palate, and that lovely elderflower finish at the end. I'm really happy with that. Thank you so much for letting me make these wonderful drinks. I've now got, when the summer arrives, I'm sorted.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Alex. And we must give a shout out to Marco, who designed these cocktails. Alex has been pimping them for us, but Marco Nardi, you made them for us. So thank you very much for that. And thank you everyone for joining. Does anyone have a question in the panel for anybody else on the panel before we close?
No, I mean, thank you, Alex. I'm so excited to pimp up my cocktails in a simple way for the summer.
Yes, you must. And it's really it's so easy, and I think people shouldn't be daunted. People should experiment and just realize that just simply, making sure that I think the three really important things is making sure you've got lots of really good ice, because there's nothing worse. That can ruin the whole vibe as you go to the ice tray, and it's just like, I mean, when there have been times when I've gone and it's just like no ice, and it's just like what? I will literally drive to the shop and get 2 bags. So always have lots of good ice, always have good glassware. And always be prepared to experiment and take stuff from your herb box or your garden herbs, and just play with the flavors you like, and don't be afraid of bitter and sour and savory herbs, because they really can balance the sweet, and then you'll be sorted.
Brilliant.
It's really interesting. Yeah, thank you.
It's lovely to see you all. It was really, and I love the concept behind the rainbow box, and I'm very supportive, so it's great.
Thank you. Cheers, everybody.
Anyone out there would like more information on 12 Below, or on the Sober Sommelier, or on Barney Club Botanicals, or on Queers Without Beers, you can go to our Club Soda webpage, and you'll find information on all those brands there, and on Queers. And likewise, if you go to Facebook, we have a Queers Without Beers page, and we have Club Soda's main page, where you can find, again, lots of information on everything you need to be about becoming a more mindful drinker. Thank you all for joining us. That was absolutely fantastic. Cheers, everyone.
Thank you. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.